So, as mentioned in that previous movie, most of our discussion is going to be about benzene in this particular module. The extension topic will go on at length about the reactions of substituted benzenes, but it's worth here just taking a slide to first of all show you a range of some of the substituted benzenes, and also because I hope by now you've realized that I'm a great believer in that you know not just the proper nomenclature rules, but also a lot of the trivial names, the non-standardized names that are used by actual practicing organic chemists. So we'll start off with methyl benzene. You can see where that comes from. It's a benzene ring with a methyl group, but you're never going to find a practicing chemist who calls it methyl benzene. It's called toluene. Similarly, when you have the dimethyl benzenes, and there are actually 3 isomers for these, well, dimethyl benzene is called xylene by everybody else. And instead of 1, 2, which is just where you have the groups on adjacent carbons, a lot of people call it ortho. Ortho is the old naming for when you've got 2 groups right next to each other. So 1,2-dimethyl benzene, orthoxylene to most people. 1,3-dimethyl benzene, well, it's another xylene, but now the groups are 1 carbon away from each other. That is called meta, so metaxylene. And then the last isomer of the dimethyl benzenes, 1,4-dimethyl benzene, and when they are on opposite ends of the ring, one calls it para. So that's paraxylene. So if you hear people talking about toluene, xylenes, etc., you know they're talking about the substituted methyl benzenes. Couple of other ones that aren't named as you would expect. This one is phenol. We have an OH. We're going to talk about phenols in the next module because they look like they're alcohols, but they're not. Aniline, which is when you have an NH2 group on a benzene. We'll talk about amines in a couple of modules' time. There's styrene that we've already mentioned back in the alkene module, talking about polymerization. You polymerize styrene, which is just a double bond attached to a benzene, and you get polystyrene. And then one that you'll hear about if you're in a chemistry lab any old time, because it's the classic example of don't let your chemical inventory get old, and that's so-called picric acid. Okay, would be 2,4,6-trinitrophenol, but picric acid is a fun one. Now, one of the reasons why I'm so insistent that you know the regular common names as well as the IUPAC names is because when you go into a chemistry lab, people are going to use the old trivial names for an awful lot of things. But another reason is that a lot of times our good old chemistry jokes are based upon the old naming. Thus, for example, if I was to give you this molecule here, and I would say, what is it? And you would look at it and you would say, what's that DR? What's DR? Well, DR is doctor. And of course, doc is short for doctor. And so this molecule would be para-dox. Okay, a doc, para to each other. Anyway, I will leave you with that thought on this movie.